Joining me now, MS Now's Ayman Mohyeldin. I get that he thought this was one of the signature events of his term in office, but why, just let the Spanish have it. Just let them enjoy.
There's no way that Donald Trump can be surrounded by a bunch of young, successful, attractive, highly accomplished men and athletes and not want to be a part of their success story. And by the way, this wasn't the first time Donald Trump did this, right? Literally a year ago during this same similar tournament, the FIFA Club World Cup, when Chelsea won, they went through this same kind of ceremony where Chelsea had just won the World Cup. Donald Trump goes on stage, hand the trophy, you're supposed to leave, let the players enjoy this moment. Nobody's supposed to be on that stage except the players and the coach. Not even the medical staff, not even the technical staff, not even some of the assistant managers. And Donald Trump injects himself in there and awkwardly stands there knowing that he's not supposed to be there. So much so that even the president of FIFA, Infantino, who has done this a few times, try to suggest to him, hey, you should be exiting stage right. He doesn't. He tries to stand in the middle of that picture and steal the thunder of the Spanish players. And look, like I said, the idea of Donald Trump being, as the Washington Post said, being showered with gold confetti, being surrounded by all, these highly accomplished, very successful athletes is probably something he wanted for the image and being part of that success.
Let's talk about one of those successful athletes on the Spanish team, Borja Iglesias.
Yeah.
He said he would only shake Trump's hand to avoid prison. He hoped it would be over very quickly. How much did the president's feud with Spain's president just linger over all of this?
Big time. The athletes were asked about it. The soccer players were asked about it, as you mentioned there. The Spanish athletes are a reflection of their country, just the same way American athletes are in others. So they come in all different kind of political views and stuff. But some of the Spanish players have been very outspoken, not just about the United States, but about foreign policy, about war, about the genocide in Gaza. Many of them have expressed their views about it, and they understand America's role in all of these global issues. And as you mentioned, there's been this feud between the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, and the United States. And the words of President Trump certainly reverberated around Spanish media. A lot of Spanish media covered Trump's comments about Spain being very bad people, criticizing the country, threatening the country with more tariff wars or trade wars. So that was not lost on the players who were playing here in the United States. And then on top of that, you had some Spanish athletes, former Spanish team players, who were denied entry into the United States. One of the former World Cup winners of Spain's 2010 team was denied entry into the United States because he participated in a soccer game in Iran. And so his ESTA visa, or his ability to enter the United States, was denied. And he appealed to Donald Trump and to the American administration to let him into the country so that he could be here with his teammates and celebrate. And he was granted that. So the politics between what the United States has done towards Spain and the tensions around this World Cup were not lost on these Spanish players as they were lifting that trophy and making these types of comments in the run-up. Of course, athletes are going to be asked about their politics and their worldviews. And so I think for a lot of the athletes, like we heard there, it was not lost on them that they were playing in this climate, that it was Donald Trump who was going to present this trophy, and he's had very harsh words towards the Spanish government.
I have less than a minute left, but I just want to say the president was also with PM of Canada, Mark Carney, and he told him, you got to stop these fires from coming in and poisoning our air. Maybe they should pay us some damages or something. We should do some tariffs.
As if Donald Trump doesn't know how, forest fires happen and that they're part of things that happen in this country. And, again, it's the way that Donald Trump approaches geopolitics and also like personal relationships. It's a sporting event. The world is trying to celebrate, and Donald Trump is using the stage to his own, personal advantage, but also this kind of like retribution that anything that happens outside the world that could potentially be harmful to the United States, he wants to exact a price for it. And it's just not the spirit of the tournament. It's not the cordiality that is often afforded to world leaders who are coming here to participate in this. Canada was a host of the World Cup, like the United States was, like Mexico was. And so the idea that you would use this stage and also at the same time use that kind of rhetoric against your neighbor, I think it just speaks to the character of who Donald Trump is.
Ayman Mohyeldin, it's always so good to have you. Thank you so much.